Hey guys, what's up? It's Kevin for the win, and we're back for another edition of Diablo III. Today on the channel, we are taking a look at the Season 24 starter set armor for the Necromancer, that being Trag'Oul's avatar. Now, this is going to be a disclaimer. Trag'Oul's avatar is probably one of the worst armors that you could potentially use in the game, so don't expect too much out of this. Okay, Trag'Oul's avatar, 2-piece bonus. Blood Rush gains the effect of every ruin. Blood Rush is not that good of a skill, really, to begin with. Okay. 4-piece bonus. While at full life, your healing from skills is added to your maximum life for 45 seconds up to 100% more. 6-piece bonus. Your life spending abilities deal 38,000% increased damage, and your healing from skills is increased by 100%. You're not doing a whole bunch of damage, particularly with these type of skills on armor. So we're using, for all intents and purposes, a full set of Trag'Oul here, as you can see. To help out with this, we're going to be using the Jessup set. 2-piece bonus. When the target of your command skeletons dies, your skeletons automatically command the next available target. While your skeletons are commanded to attack a target, you deal 400% increased damage. We're going to be using placeholders here, guys, because there's not really anything that particularly helps Trag'Oul's build tremendously. We're going to be using Crisp and Sentence, as you can see here. We're going to be using Dainty's Binding just because we have good rolls on it. For these skills, you want to run Command Skeletons, Freezing Grass. You want to run Land of the Dead, Frozen Lands. This will help tremendously to help out with the build. Devour, Cannibalize, because we need to get back health, because we're going to be spending a lot of health. Blood Rush, Transfusion, but we get all the ruins anyway, so it doesn't matter. Bone Armor, Dislocation, that way we can stun things. Skeletal Mage, Life Support, because of, remember, the 4- and 6-piece bonus, we'll be able to deal more damage that way. And because we're using the Devour particular skill that we're using, we can get back our health quickly. Alright, Blood is Power. Dark Reaping, as you saw, the other one, Extended Servitude. These are the ones that you want to use for your passives. Knights Cube, Scythe of the Sickle, Tasker and Theo, Circle of Trag'Oul. This is where my Paragon is. For the follower, honestly, all you really need is a Flavor of Time, Nemesis Bracers. You can put a Broken Crown in if you need more gems. You can put Goldskin in as well. The most important things are the Nemesis Bracers and the Flavor of Time. That's why I have placeholders on my armor build, because I get the skills from my follower from those. I rather have just higher attack stat for the moment. For the purposes of this showcase, we are going to do a Greater Rift 60, a Greater Rift 65, and a Greater Rift 75. That is basically Torment 13, 14, and then a Torment 16. So I can show you how this armor will fare. This is a F-tier armor. And because it is an F-tier armor, you are very prone in this particular build to dying quite a bit, even on the low Greater Rifts. The reason for that is, as you're going to see, you're expending life to use Skeletal Mages, and then you are hoping that there are a lot of corpses around so you can heal yourself. So when you get into the Grey Rift, the first thing you want to do, really, is use your Command Skeletons to target a target, then use your Skeletal Mages to basically use their ability to attack targets. Then you're going to want to use your Command Skeletons again. As you see, because we are using that particular ruin for Skeletal Mages, you're going to want to use your Devour to not only get back your Essence to command your Command Skeletons again, but every time you get back your Essence from Devour, you're gaining back life. And because you are spending life every time you're summoning a Skeletal Mages, it is very important to get back that life as fast as possible with your Devour. This leaves you very susceptible, because if there are not a lot of bodies around, and you're spending a lot of your life to be able to deal a lot of damage with your Skeletal Mages, you're at very low life. And then when you're at very low life with this particular armor, you have a very high potential of being squashed, which is where this armor gets very weak. On top of that, because the 6-piece bonus only gives you 38,000% increased damage when you're using life-spending abilities, it doesn't do a tremendous amount of damage with your Skeletal Mages anyway, which is why it's very important whenever you see a large area of mobs to activate your Bone Armor. And then always remember, you gotta Devour these corpses around you, because as you're using your Command Skeletons up, you're also burning through your Essence tremendously, as well as your life. So you could burn through your resources quite quickly with this build. Now, we don't have room really on this build to run primary resource generators, because then we would have to take away... Oop, case in point, I gotta be careful there, because if I get exploded in that explosion, I will almost certainly die here because of using up a lot of things. Now, what's Land of the Dead for? Land of the Dead primarily is for when you feel like you're getting overwhelmed by a lot of elite pack, or if you're not doing a lot of damage with a lot of enemies, and it can help you get a lot of your essence back in these situations. Because remember, Devour is basically a corpse skill, so you get basically free devours off of your Land of the Deads. Now, in terms of legendary gems that you want to use here, it's really hard in particular for me to really recommend too many things. Obviously, the first thing I would recommend using here is a Bane of the Trap and a Bane of the Stricken, because since we're using that particular command skeletons that's Frozen Grass, you're going to be able to do a significant chunk of damage. Bane of the Stricken is important because your Skeletal Mages and your command skeletons are going to attack multiple targets quite a lot and quite frequently, so it's very important for that. Now, for the third gem, I would recommend Zea's Stone of Vengeance, because since you can't really get up close and personal with the Skeletal Mages and command skeletons, you have to do most of your attacks and from basically afar, basically zoning. I would recommend potentially here using Zea's Stone of Vengeance and just trying to keep far away. Now, if you wanted to get your Land of the Dead back up faster, you could go out with Swiftness, but since this is not a build that can actually run Captain Crimson, because it just doesn't have set pieces that will allow you to run the pieces of Captain Crimson, you basically will need to just kind of forego the Goeka Swiftness. If you want more cooldown, actually invest in it in your armor. Now, what can we do in terms of optimization for this particular armor? First things up, Necromancers like a lot of critical hit chance and critical hit damage. So I would recommend on your helm, first and foremost, getting crit hit chance 6.0%. Subsequently, what I would recommend then is on your gloves, I would recommend these for your stats. I would recommend crit hit chance at least 6.0%, crit hit damage 50%, crit hit, not crit hit, but attack speed at least 6.0%. The higher the stat, obviously the better. Hold on to that for a second. So when you get to the Rift Guardian, what you want to do is use your command skeletons. Then you're going to basically use your Skeletal Mages on lower Greater Rifts. You're going to basically explode the Greater Rift Guardian in basically one flurry of attacks, so never really worry too much about that. I'm leveling up the Bane of the Powerful here. You can't really use it particularly on this build unless you were using lower Greater Rifts, so don't really stress it. I recommend Bane of the Stricken over Bane of the Trap. Long-term, Bane of the Stricken is going to do more for you in this build than Bane of the Powerful. Bane of the Powerful is going to lose a lot of favor for you as you get a little higher up in the Greater Rifts. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Clear minute, 3 minutes and 53 second clear time, Greater Rift 60, which is Torment 13. In terms of optimization, I have like 2 augmentations on here, guys, so this is not fully optimized in terms of legendary augments. Okay, so same strategy as before. You're going to use your Skeletal Mages and your Command Skeletons in conjunction to target things. Since I saw they were getting a lot more tanky, I actually popped the Land of the Dead. We're going to use our Skeletal Mages and hang back here. We're going to use our Devour to get back not only Essence, but our life. That's how this armor operates and how we can take full advantage of our 4-piece and 6-piece bonus for Trag'Oul. There's not too many practical uses when it comes to the 2-piece bonus here. It just gives us more ruins for our Blood Rush, which is kind of good to teleport around, but doesn't really do that much else for us long term. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I feel like Trag'Oul is long overdue for a complete rework. The way that Firebird's Finery got a rework in Season 23 of Diablo III, Trag'Oul is way overdue for that. Unfortunately, as of Season 24, it didn't get anything that buffed it necessarily, as I've seen in the patch notes. Season 24 is supposed to start, if I remember correctly, July 23rd is the official start date. July 18th, Season 23 officially ends. So if you haven't done something in Season 23 of Diablo 3, you'll have up until, I believe it's Friday or Sunday, to get it done. And then you're kind of pretty much pooped out on that one. One of the things I do like about Season 24 is that we're going to get, for the Seasonal 4 chapter, not only a pet, not a pet, we're getting a set of wings that was originally available in Season 12. So if you've never played in Diablo 3 Season 12, you're actually going to have access to a very nice, angelic looking pair of wings. I don't have the wings, so I actually have to play Season 24 of Diablo, at least till chapter, or at least till the Seasonal Chapter 4 journey is complete. Also, for the full completion of it, which is, I believe, Chapter 12 or Chapter 13, there's a new pet. It's a mummy. It kind of looks like a mummy in one of those cool mummy heads that you usually would see in a sarcophagus. It has like a dagger. It looks full mummy eyes. That looks really cool. That looks really cool. So if you're really into pets, I'm not really big on pets because I feel like they don't do too much for me personally in terms of cosmetic. But if you're a pet collector, this is one of the seasons you're definitely going to be happy for. You get an old pair of wings, and you get a new pet. So I think everybody's happy here. I kind of can't help but feel like Blizzard has been watching some of my videos and listening in regards to it, because I did say many times in Season 23 that we didn't really have any wings, and for wing collectors like me, it was very unfortunate. There wasn't really anything truly to strive for that was very significant, in my humble opinion. So it's nice to be able to see that we're getting a new wing pair. Now, in further optimization for this particular armor, outside of crit hit recommendations that I did just now, a little while ago, I would recommend that you have cooldown reduction wherever possible. That way you can get your Land of the Dead to be active a bit more. We don't use really area of effect here. Life per second could come in handy in this particular armor build, because since we are, case in point here, expending a lot of life and essence to basically use our skills, it puts us very susceptible. So being able to get more life per second after every attack can come in handy. Like I said before, the biggest weakness as to why Trag'Oul is an F tier armor is the fact that you have to expend your life to do damage. And the amount of damage that you do when you expend your life on skills isn't a whole lot. 3,800% damage when you compare it to some armors that get anywhere up to like 12,500, 13,500, and that's for their 6-piece bonuses. We're comparing 6-piece bonuses. I'm talking about Helltooth here. Helltooth, you get like 13,600 damage for your 6-piece bonus. Your 6-piece bonus of Trag'Oul, you get 3,800. So unless you were trying a very crazy like Singularity Mages build, which is not going to work very well for this particular build with the Blood Mages, it's really not good. So what ends up happening, and why Trag'Oul will not be a very good choice for your seasonal journey, especially as your starter set armor, is the fact that it's going to struggle. Once you get past Torment 13, the Greater Rift enemies tend to have a lot of AoE effects. And unfortunately, Trag'Oul's avatar is very susceptible to AoE effects from mobs. They're susceptible to explosions. Why? Because we're always burning a lot of life. And if there's not a lot of dead bodies on the screen to get back not only our essence, but as well as our life, it puts us at very low health. So we're very easy to fink. And in fact, I would say Trag'Oul is very frustrating for a lot of players to be able to get their 4 chance piece bonuses as they're going through this greater. So what are my recommendations for you guys who are going to be playing your seasonal journey as Necromancer? I would recommend personally that you just use your Trag'Oul's avatar until you can get a better armor, and then I would recommend abandoning it, because this is not going to take you very far. This is probably going to cap out even with full optimization. And by full optimization, I means every piece of Ancient Legendary has desired stats and setups, as well as having every piece of the armor augmented at least with a Legendary Gem of level 80 to a level, maybe level 100 even, to be able to be truly optimized and push graders. It's going to cap out somewhere at maybe 100 and 110. I'd be surprised if it could do 120. Certainly, it's not going to be able to do 130 solo by itself even. It's just not built that way. You spend too much life, and as you go higher up into the Greater Rifts, as you're going to see here when we do the Greater Rift 75 in a second, it's just not worth the time and investment you put in, because it just cannot perform well. That was Greater Rift 65, 5 minutes and 52 second clear time, because we took a couple unfortunate deaths that really you can't avoid because this armor's so weak and so glass cannon-ish. I guess that's the best way I can compare. Trag'Oul's avatar is basically a glass cannon, where it will hit very powerful depending on the situation, but subsequently as well, it will leave you where you get punched in your mouth and you basically go down like Mike Tyson did against Buster Douglas. If you kiddies are too young to know who Buster Douglas is, Google Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson. You can thank me later, especially if you're a boxing fan. Getting back to Diablo 3, however, same strategy as before. We use our Skeletal Mages, command skeletons, Skeletal Mages. That way the Skeletal Mages do more damage. Then we have to we'd use our Devourer so we can get back our life and our essence. And that's basically it. You have to rely, as you're on a Greater of 75, of using your command skeletons, then going Skeletal Mages, Devouring Aura. Also make sure that you have to keep an eye on your bone armor. You want, when possible, 10 stacks of bone armor. There's a lot of things, guys, going on with this armor. So many things going on with this armor. As you see there, we got hit by an AoE effect, and because we were using up a lot of our life, we burnt through and we're susceptible, which is, again, glass cannon of the Trag'Oul's avatar. It's an armor that wears a glass cannon. Same strategy, command skeletons. Skeletal mages, try to stay super far back when possible. Use your devouring to get back not only essence, which we're going to do here as you see, but get back life. Because remember, every time we're clicking the skeletal mages, we are also burning through our life. We're expending our life to deal more damage. Now, Trag'Oul's avatar does have a bone spear build where you expend your actual life to use your blood spears. I've tried it. I've messed with it. This is probably the better build that you're going to want to work with. It's slightly easier to set up. If you want to go bone spears, or not bone spears, correction, corpse lances. Corpse lance build for Trag'Oul. Burns through your blood. There is the Trag'Oul version of that. It doesn't do very well. I would recommend going pestilence. Pestilence, corpse spear, corpse lance. No, corpse lance. Yeah, corpse lance. Pestilence, corpse lance is the way to go with your build. If you were going to go corpse lance, I don't recommend going the Trag'Oul's route because you don't have a lot of free and leeway and to play around with things. Pestilence is just better at doing that because it just has natural significant bump. Alright, so Blood Mage is probably the way you want to go. But my recommendation, use this as far as you can. Then if you see that you run into Masquerade of the Burning Carnival despite the nerf, or you see that you run into Anaris, because Anaris can carry you pretty far, or that you get like, you want to go really ballsy and you want to build my Legacy of Dreams poison type build. All these builds are available in the playlist from Season 23. None of that has really changed outside Masquerade of the Burning Carnival. Does less damage for the 6-piece bonus, but they are available on the play. Those armors are kind of the things you want to go for. You want to go for Masquerade of the Burning Carnival. If you don't go for Masquerade of the Burning Carnival, next best thing would play Anaris Corpse Explosion. After that, Rathmon is pretty decent. Pestilence, in particular, can carry you up until about Torment 16. At Torment 16 is where Pestilence kind of suffers greatly. Same kind of situation that the Trag'Oul's avatar suffers from. And that Trag'Oul's avatar kind of when it hits Greater Rift 16, or correction, Torment 16, you just can't deal as much damage and you take a lot of damage. And it's not really a good cost-benefit ratio. Strategy here, Blood Mages from afar, use my Devour to get back my essence as well as my life, and use the command skeletons. Remember, because of the Jessup set, every time you use a command skeleton, afterwards, when you use another type of skills attack, it's going to do 400% increase of damage, which is why it's very important to make sure that you're sending your command skeletons to targets and targets and targets. That way that the next attack is powered up. That's why we run Jessup on this set. Now, so if I'd had to pick what you should probably run, I would say for Season 24 for the Necromancer, I would recommend Masquerade of the Burning Carnival despite the 6-piece bonus nerf. It's not that significant. Then from there, I would recommend, if you want to go mixed set with the Legacy of Dreams gem, Legacy of Dreams Poison type. If those are not very appealing to you or you don't run into them in your seasonal journey, next best fig would be Anaris Corpse Explosion, very easy set to run, and you don't have to go through a lot of optimization. A lot of that stuff you just will get naturally through Greater Rift grinding anyway. Then from there, I'd say Rathmon. Then from there, you probably want to stick with Trag'Oul. Other than that, there's really not anything else to say. That's kind of really what it looks like in terms of Season 24 tier list and what you should be rocking with at the moment. So, that's how it is. If I had to take a guess for Season 24 leaderboard placement, it's going to be Legacy of Dreams Poison Scythe, Masquerade of Burning Carnival, Poison Spear, and then maybe some type of random Pestilence Corpse Lance build. Because I know there's a lot of people on the Xbox platform, ironically in particular, because we have talked in the comments before about that like Pestilence Corpse Lance. Those are the 3 armors I see that are going to do high leaderboard placement for Season 24. Trag'Oul, I don't expect anything out of it. This is a F-tier armor. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I know you guys have been wanting me to cover it a long time in Season 23. I didn't cover it, and then Season 24 it ended up being the starter armor. So it's better to cover it now. That's the starter set, to show you why this is very important, as to why you want to switch out. This just can't perform. You're spending too much life, and you're not able to get back as much life, and you're leaving yourself susceptible. And glass cannons in Diablo III don't really help as you get higher up in the Grey Rifts, because higher up in the Grey Rifts, these guys are more tanky. As you see here, this is Tournament 16. They deal more damage. If you're spending a whole bunch of your life, and like, to do these many commands, not so much command skeletons, but the Skeletal Mage, as you see, when I click in Skeletal Mage, I gotta click 1, 2, in a time to zone, that's already 75% of my health. If I use a lot of that, or an enemy hits me like 2 times, or they got lucky with stray bullets, I'm automatically dead. Which is the problem, basically, with what this armor performs here. The only reason we're kind of doing okay in the clear times is because my follower has the Nemesis Bracer as well as the Flavor of Time. So that's why there. Again, if you come in the comments and ask why my necklace or my bracers is the way they are and they're not like a Flavor of Time or a Nemesis Bracers, because my father has it and you weren't paying attention probably and didn't watch the video all the way in. And if you didn't watch the video all the way in, really, that's not my problem. Okay, guys, so we're getting close to the Rift Garden here. So what we're going to do is we're going to conserve our, not only our command skeletons here, but our Land of the Dead, because we need our Land of the Dead to freeze the Rift Guardian in place. Alright, so we're going to go Land of the Dead, freeze them in place. I'm going to use my command skeletons, then I'm going to use my Skeletal Mages. I'm going to hang back here. As you see, that's how you can take care of a Torment 16 Rift Guardian with Trag'Oul's armor set. You're never really going to, with Trag'Oul's avatar, get a 4 chance bonus because you're just too much of a glass cannon. And there's just too many situations with a lot of AoE effects where you're not going to be able to really be able to get the 4-piece chance because you're going to get killed a lot. If you get killed a lot with this armor, don't get discouraged. It's a very bad armor. And the way it's set up, it's long overdue for a rework. It needs a rework like Firebird got reworked in Season 23. Let's see our clear time. Alright, so that was a 7-minute and 17-second clear time. If you put full optimization here, where you augmented every piece that was Ancient Legendary with gems of 80 to 100, you probably could get 4 3-minute clear time, but the question is it really worth it? Because long term, you're probably going to be able to push Greater Rift 110 to 120 with this. You're not going to do 130, and you're certainly not going to do 150, no matter how skilled you are with this armor, because of the fact that you just spend way too much life. Alright, so unfortunately we didn't get too much for it. What can you guys look forward to in the next video? The next video, I am not going to be covering a starter set armor, but I will be covering Firebird's Finery, so I can show you an armor that got a great Season 23 rework, and kind of can show you why, if hopefully Diablo 3 continues to be supported, why Trag'Oul should probably get this type of rework, because Firebird was generally crappy, and now, believe it or not, it is a very solid mid-tier choice for Wizards, despite the Chance Totem Gear set, which we will also cover very soon. I'm going to do all the starter sets, guys. I am kind of like pacing myself a little bit because I did do some of those in the very end of Season 23 unintentionally. That's just kind of how it worked out. But yeah, next video is Firebird's Finery. The video after that, which would be the following Monday, will be the Seeker of Light set for the Crusader. Then I will probably do Chance Totem Veer. And then I will probably do, I'd like to say probably the Uliana set so I can get the star sets out for the beginning Season 24. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, a like is greatly appreciated on this video. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing because it helps the channel grow. And I will see you for the next Diablo 3 video.